Hello everyone out there in YouTube world, this is Brian Hull here, and welcome to my very next installment of Impression Tips with Brian. Now I've had a lot of people write in asking about whenever they do an impression and it would hurt their voice, or they would do a voice job and their voice would be in pain while they were doing it, and they asked me if that's a problem. And yes, it is a problem. It is a very big problem. Do not hurt your voice. I can't stress this enough. Don't hurt your voice. But there's a saying in classical music that goes, if you're singing and you're hurting your voice, you're doing it wrong. And the same principle applies to voice acting and impressions. I've taken that and applied it to it, and it has done just amazing wonders. I had voices that hurt my voice, and all of a sudden I took that principle and all of a sudden they didn't hurt anymore and they sounded even better. And the number one way to do that, to keep doing these impressions but not having them hurt, is by supporting with the diaphragm. Now, how to support with the diaphragm, it takes a little while to learn how to do this, but once you get it, it just makes a world of difference. So, when most people breathe, they take very shallow breaths like this. You guys see that? My shoulders are going up and down. There's a slight lift in the sternum. That's a very shallow breath. You may think it's a deep breath, but it's really not. Now, the best way to breathe so you can actually use your diaphragm is by doing something like this. So you see that? As I'm breathing in, I'm filling up this part of my belly like a balloon. That puts as much air in my lungs as is possible, and then it's putting tension here. So that is really the best way to breathe while using the diaphragm. Now that's step one, to get everything in the right spot to use your diaphragm. Now, as you're singing or talking or doing an impression, you are pushing here as you're singing or you're speaking, like this. So if I put my hand here, I'm singing and I'm pushing against my hand. So that's what you're doing. You're pushing against it. And what that does is, think of your air. Think of air going through your vocal cords just like a rocket ship. Now it needs a lot of fuel to get up there. Now if you just do a shallow breath here, it's gonna have enough air to get through it, but not very much. Whereas if you get all your air from here, build up that fuel tank, and then shoot the air up from there, it just shoots through that stratosphere like there's no tomorrow, and you feel little to no discomfort whatsoever here. So this is the zone you want to put all the force of your voice needs to be away from here at all times, just never. Now, it's going to take a while to build that up. Like, as you can see mine, I've had years of training. If I punch this thing right now, it's pretty tough, it's pretty strong. And I'm sorry you guys have to sit here and look at my fat belly for half of this, but that's the best way I know how to explain what's going on. But if you want to increase the strength of your diaphragm's like any other muscle. It's just going to take some working out. Like, one of the things I was really trained to do was to get really big, heavy books, place them on your stomach, lay down, and then sing or speak or do impressions, do whatever, and you're constantly pushing against those books. Once those books become too easy, put another heavy book. If those books become too easy, keep adding, or if you have to, I went eventually to dumbbell weights, because, well, not dumbbell, I forget what it's called, but the big metal weight that you put on the end of like a bench press machine, whatever weights those are called, I'd start putting those on my belly, just to really help build this up. And that's a habit you should really be getting into. Like, for example, if I do Tigger and I'm not using my diaphragm, that sound that he makes a lot is really uncomfortable, and it really hurts my voice. And if I did them longer for a minute or two, I would be in serious pain. But if I go from the diaphragm, I don't feel anything there at all. It's just, I could do this for hours and hours on end. So that's really what I'm talking about. And if you guys noticed that as soon as I started going from the diaphragm, I sat up straight. I wasn't slouching or anything, because you need all that space for support. So that's the best way I can describe how to use the diaphragm in a nutshell. Don't forget to comment below. Tell me what you guys want to hear next as far as impression tips go. And I will see you guys on Friday. Don't forget to practice and get that diaphragm warmed up. And I will see you guys next week. Well, not next week. I'll see you Friday. I'll see you guys Friday. Bye.